Hi, I'm Abubakar Ango, and we are on another episode of DevOps with Duo. In this video, we'll be looking at Helm, how GitLab Duo can help you to create the necessary Helm configurations to deploy your application to a Kubernetes cluster. In one of our previous videos, we look at how to use Duo to create your resources for deploying your application to Kubernetes, but this time we'll be repurposing the same application, the same project, to use Helm instead. Now, in this video, we'll look at things like root cause analysis. We'll look at Duo capabilities like root cause analysis. We'll look at code suggestions. We'll look at Duo Chart. All these Duo features that helps you move faster and efficiently in your day-to-day workflow. Let's head on to the video. We'll be repurposing the project we used in our last project, in our last video, to deploy our application to the Kubernetes cluster. And as we can recall, our application is simply an API that displays to you the current time in 10 cities across the globe. So what we'll do is, let me copy the project and clone it. So we'll be using Visual Studio Code this time because we need to do a couple of things in CLI for Helm. So we'll be doing everything in Visual Studio Code this time. Okay, directory, then I'll do git clone and clone this for me. Awesome, this is done. So let me open my okay, let me come to open here and open the project I just cloned. Awesome. So what we'll be doing in this video basically is to convert the deployment we currently have using Kubernetes. So we have this deployment file, deploys the application, it uses the secret. So now instead we'll be doing it with Helm and not Kubernetes directly, since Helm makes it easier to package and deploy and template or create charts that helps us to manage our Kubernetes deployments better. So we'll switch to Duo Chart in Visual Studio Code, and let's make sure everything is intact from the way it was from our previous video. We have our kube context, we have our everything seems fine. Our service, we have our gem file with rackup, we have our docker file, but 8080, and I think everything looks intact. So if you've not watched the previous video, basically what our application does is basically display the current time in different cities and shares them as a JSON response. Now we want to convert this to Helm. Let's do that. So let's refactor our API, deployment. Let's refactor our API deployment using Helm. Let me see if it will maintain my context from gitlab.com to here. Yeah, it did, and it understood the context of the project, and also we have files open, so definitely it will know based on the files that we have open exactly what we want to do. Okay, the response it's been generated and it's done. So let's review from the top. What are the things we need to do? Now the first thing would be let's refactor our API deployment using Helm. We'll create a Helm chart for our world time application. Here's the step-by-step. Create a new directory and structure for the Helm chart. So we'll have let's see, these are the things it needs us to do. We need to create a service, we need to create helpers for it, we'll need to, okay, this is our CI. Our CI will be changed this way, okay, and yeah, so let's do that. So we have our project, definitely. So the first thing we need to do, let me close all the other tabs here and close others. So let's create some of the things it wants us to create. The first one is we'll create our charts.yaml. New file, charts.yaml. Charts.yaml file, and these are the things we need to put in it. Okay, awesome. So the next thing we'll do is create values.yaml. Save, and let's copy and paste since we have some variables. So it's saying image repository, this pull policy and tag. Okay, we need to make sure this is, yeah, and this is functioning because we have our pull secrets happening here, so that we don't forget like we did the last time in the last video. So the next thing we'll do is to create our deployments.yaml file. So let's save deployments.yaml. Oh, I need to create a folder for this. Let's say templates, and move this guy here, move, and I rename it to deployments.yaml file. Now let's go back to Duo chart. What's the content of our deployments.yaml file? So I'll copy this and paste here. Let's check. We have metadata specified here, our labels. We have number of replicas. The number of replicas should be, yeah, is already specified here. Replica counts 3. Replica count. We have selector labels. We have our container, the container image and tag we need to use, repository and tag. That's this repository and tag. Then what ports, container ports are we targeting, this, so on. So let's see, we have the resources specified here, and the resources are also mentioned here. Awesome, everything checks out. Now the next thing is we are going to create services.yaml. So let's create the services.yaml file here. Services.yaml file. So we come to Duo chart. Let's see what it's giving us for services. Okay, this, let's add contents of this. Let's see. We have our metadata name, the world API labels, then we have the spec, we have the port and the target ports from values, we have the port and target ports from under a service for values, and yeah. So the other thing we need to create is underscore helper dot template. Now the good thing here is GitLab, since it understands the context of our application, it will have filled in everything that we need. You see, it's filled in what time API, all the values and everything necessary. So I've had situations whereby I needed to go through each of the things. When I created the Helm chart myself, I had to remember to go and rename every part of the chart that is relevant to my application. But here we have everything we already need generated by Duo Chart. So for the helpers template file, so we have this. I think everything we need has already been filled in by Duo Chart for us. World time API.chart, everything. Yeah, everything has been filled for us. So the next thing is to update our GitLab CI, and this time we are updating it to Helm Chart this way. So this time we don't need to create our secret, because our secret has already been created we already have a secret created. For those that are just watching from this video, when in the last video we created a Kubernetes secret with the login details that Kubernetes will use to pull our image from our container registry. So because we are using the GitLab container, our image is being pushed to the GitLab container registry, and Kubernetes needs to know how to pull it from there. So a secret has already been created in the cluster. So here we will update our CI. So let's look for our CI. Before I switch, let me see what other things do we need to do. The Helm Chart structure provides a more flexible and maintainable way to deploy your application. It allows for easy customization of values. So to use these, place these files in the repository. Ensure Kubernetes cluster is connected to your project. It is already, and we have our CI file. Update the CI, commit, and push the changes. When you push the main branch, the GitLab CI will build the Docker image and deploy using Helm. Remember to leave a feedback here. So let's go to our GitLab CI and update our CI file. So I think everything is intact. The only thing I need to update, let's see. GitLab should understand the context of some of the things I have already. No, it doesn't. My kube context is here. I still need my context to be updated. Okay, some things were not taken from the previous part, so I don't need this anymore. I don't need this part anymore, but I'll need to set my context basically. It's important. So but let's try what it's this first. And we update our deploy job. I think major thing we need to update is our deploy, but I think we need to set our context later. But we need to set our context. So I'll copy this and put it here. Then we remove this. We don't need this anymore. And we need to, before script, let's set context. Let's remove this. Yeah, you see it's doing autocomplete for me. I don't need this now. Then this image kubectl doesn't come with Helm, but we have Alpine Helm, which also doesn't come with kubectl, and we need to make sure our context is set. So I'm changing to a different image that has both Helm and kubectl. Okay, I think we have everything we need. Basically, we have our context specified here, and let's push them. We review the application again in GitLab CI. So here, refactor application with Helm. I'll push my commit first, save all changes and commit, then push. Then let's switch to our project here, and our CI is running. So for our deployments to happen, we already have our Kubernetes cluster connected. That's Kubernetes clusters here. Yeah, we already have a Kubernetes cluster. We are using the GitLab Kubernetes agent. So anytime you want to connect an agent, you can always select one that has been connected already, or you create a new one here. I'll add a link to the description on how you can use the GitLab Kubernetes agent. Now let's go to GitLab CI. Pipelines. Our pipeline is building. The first thing it will do here is to build our container image. Now let's see how it's doing that by going through our project. So we have our GitLab CI configuration. This is the context for our image. This is the context it's using for the GitLab Kubernetes agents that I showed earlier. This is what it's using. So this is building. The first job is building our container image, while this is doing the deployment before the context. Now let's go back to our job. Pipelines, and oh, it failed. Let's see, why did it fail? Okay, GitLab Helm. Okay, it's using this context, and it's saying error dot world time API not found. Okay, release world time API does not exist. Let's use root cause analysis to investigate what is happening here. Okay, let's see. So it's telling me this is also Duo chart. You can investigate what is going on in your CI job. Now the root cause analysis, the root cause of the failure is that the Helm Charts directory specified in the command does not exist. Specifically, the error message. The error occurs when the execution of the Helm upgrade command. The command is trying to find a chart, Helm chart, in this directory, but this directory is not present in the current. Yeah, so it's trying to pull a chart from a directory in the system, but it doesn't exist. So this is the part we need to fix it. So example fix is we don't have a directory to use, so basically we'll just use our current directory. We don't because our chart is in the same directory as our application. So let's fix the issue. Let's go to our project and fix the issue. So the issue is this. Okay, it's asking me to set replicas. The GitLab, no, not necessarily do a chart. Now let's push our deploy. Let me save and commit. Commit and sync. Hopefully this works this time. Okay, but yeah, I think the image I used for the job worked. It was able to get our context, and it used the right context for our Kubernetes cluster. So let's go to pipelines and follow our new job that is running. So since this is passing, I'll just wait for the job in this deploy job here to start. Okay, our job has completed, but it says we already have a service that exists with this name. So let me go into my cluster. Okay, we have the service here. Let me, for the purpose of this demo, let me just delete it so that I think this is from my previous kubectl get svc. This is from the previous video where we deployed the application directly using Kubernetes. So we say kubectl delete svc, what time? Okay, this is deleted. Now let's retry our job again. Okay, after fixing that, our Helm chart has been deployed. So this is the name of the deployment. This is the it was deployed in the default namespace, and yeah, so let's switch here and check kubectl. Let's see the name of our service, the service that has been created for us. Yeah, we have world time API, and this was, if we look at the project, the name of our service, or let me just switch to Visual Studio Code. The name of our service was definitely World Time app. Yeah, so that is why we have this here, World Time API, and because we are using a load balancer, so an external IP was created for us by GKE. So let's run the application. It should just work. Okay, we finally got our deployments to work. I had to update the CI upgrade, move things around a bit. For some reason, it's not allowing this variable to be passed for it to set in for the repository. So let's go back to our Visual Studio Code to see what happened. First, we have this CI registry, and we have this CI commit SHA, then which are automatically assigned, which are passed via this set image repository and set image tag. The script, CI script, was previously had the dot, which is the reference to the repository, somewhere here, somewhere around here. So I moved things around. I moved it to the end, and I also, the script was multi-line. Yeah, that was why, and there was no slash at the end. So I moved things around, and our repository now deploys. Our chart now deploys. So we have our API deployed here. Let's see what kubectl. Let's see what get service. Let's get the IP of our service that was created. Yep, this. So let's access this IP address and see what it gives us. Yeah, it gives us the results of our API. So basically, in this video, we've seen that GitLab not only helps you to write your code, it also helps you with GitLab Duo. It also helps you to create your deployment files and help you move faster. Awesome, and that's the end of this episode. We've seen how GitLab Duo can help you move faster in your workflow. You can find links to all the different resources that have been mentioned in the description of this video. Thank you.